Happy Friday, Muskies. I'm Alyssa Metz.
And I'm Drew Tanner. This is Xavier News.
From the Xavier University Television Studio, this is Xavier News.
There are new details in the autopsy of a dictator. A Swiss forensics expert declared Wednesday that former Palestinian leader Yasser Arafat had at least 18 times the normal level of polonium in his decaying body. Samples of the body were taken from the grave and examined by 3 international teams. Leading pathologist David Barclay said, quote, "If I was a judge and jury, this is absolutely stone-cold certain that polonium caused the death of Yasser Arafat," end quote. Yasser Arafat's death in 2004 was originally attributed to a blood disorder that led to a stroke. In reaction to the results, his widow Suha Arafat said they revealed, quote, "a political assassination," end quote, and claims she now has scientific proof that the man was killed. However, the Swiss team identified several critical problems in their investigation, and teams in France, Russia, and Palestine are doing further studies to determine the official cause of Arafat's death 9 years ago.
Pope Francis is being applauded worldwide after an image of him kissing a man with a rare disease in St. Peter's Square was made public on Wednesday. The Pope has talked about the need for people to give to others and, quote, "to overcome the fear of getting our hands dirty so as to help those in need," end quote. According to the Catholic News Agency, the man seen in the picture being embraced by Pope Francis suffers from neurofibromatosis, a disease which has completely disfigured his skin. Through this encounter, Pope Francis has proven that he is a man of his word as he continues to show loving affection and willingness to help those less fortunate.
The Free Store Food Bank is undergoing yet another opportunity to help others. Here's Gabe Weiss with more.
Cincinnati is home to many altruistic organizations. One of the most up-and-coming nonprofits is Cincinnati Cooks, which operates out of the Free Food Store Bank in downtown on the corner of Central and 12th. Cincinnati Cooks is a free 10-week culinary training program that prepares low-income and at-risk individuals for employment in the food service industry. They use donated and reserved food to prepare meals and snacks, much of which is used to feed children in an after-school meal program called Kids Cafe. We sat down with Ronnie Joreen, who's graduating from the program this week.
Before I came to Cincinnati Cooks, I was doing factory work. And that was kind of hard because it was third shift and I was training during the day. So my body was real tired. I felt like an old man at 22, and I just decided to, put a plan together. And God really blessed me with Cincinnati Cooks.
Ronnie and other students prepared a giant handmade cake in celebration of their last day with Cincinnati Cooks. Student chefs even signed their names with icing to cap off the sweet success of finishing the program.
The first day when I came in to turn my application, I was like, God, I just want to hop in right now, Miss B. I want to go back there right now. She was like, well, you got to wait for the next rotation. And I was like, I wish I would have found out about it sooner. She said, God put it in your eyes when you needed to see it, and it really worked out for me.
Riding on the successful completion of the course, graduating students like Ronnie plan on applying for assistant and head chef positions in restaurants across Cincinnati. This is Gabe Weiss reporting for Xavier News.
A special thank you may be in order the next time you grab your morning coffee. Starbucks announced on Wednesday that it will hire 10,000 veterans and military spouses over the next 5 years. Starbucks Board of Directors head and former Defense Secretary Robert Gates said on the announcement, quote, "With many men and women who have served in Iraq and Afghanistan having a difficult time finding careers," end quote. Starbucks CEO Howard Schultz added that his company plans to open 5 stores on or near military bases, and veterans will receive free coffee on Veterans Day. The Seattle-based coffee empire is the latest big business to combat unemployment in the military with this type of move, joining UPS, JP Morgan, and Walmart.
Last Sunday marked the end of an Indiana resident's life after the tragic results of a hunting accident just the day before. Timothy Bowers fell 16 feet to the ground while deer hunting Saturday, paralyzing him from the waist down, rendering him unable to breathe without the use of life support. The family requested to awaken him from sedation to ask if he would like to continue using the machine. Once taken out of sedation, Bowers made the decision to say goodbye to his wife and unborn child. He was taken off of life support and died soon after. If you would like to make donations to provide support for his widow and unborn child, visit the funeral homes page, www.haggardandsefton.com.
Your city has a new mayor, Muskies. Lawyer and streetcar opponent John Cranley beat Democratic opponent Roxanne Qualls Tuesday, winning 58% of the votes. Upon his election, the mayor-elect promised to, quote, work on reuniting this city in a bipartisan fashion, end quote. Cranley, a Mount Lookout native, is an attorney with the law firm of Keating, Muthing, and Kleekamp. He replaces Mark Mallory, who served 2 terms from 2005 to 2013. Qualls previously served as mayor from 1993 to 1999.
With Mayor-elect Cranley, streetcar fanatics may have to choose a new venue for their transportation desires. The 39-year-old Tea Party's opposition of streetcar spending was his top campaign promise. Cranley decided to put an end to the project due to its estimated cost of $133 million. Channel 5 News has reported that over $23 million has already been spent destroying buildings in preparation for the streetcar. Cranley advocates for the spending to stop right away, but is not able to take action until he is sworn into office December 1st. With all things entertainment, here's Jack Vandertal with the Golden Reel Review.
Hello Muskies, and welcome back to another edition and another year of my movie review show, The Golden Reel Review. Now, so far we've seen some strong films going into the holiday season, which, as many film buffs may understand, to be open season for Oscar buzz. Now let's start out with the popular thriller Prisoners, starring Hugh Jackman, Jake Gyllenhaal, and Melissa Leo. Now in this film, Hugh Jackman plays a loving father whose 6-year-old daughter and her young friend strangely go missing without a trace. Now Jake Gyllenhaal plays the detective in search of any leads. But however, as the days progress with no sign of her and no results, Hugh Jackman's character begins to turn to desperation. It's the film that asks the ultimate question, what would you do if the worst case scenario were to ever happen? Now this is a truly engaging thriller with a very interesting script and really remarkable characters. I give the film 3 out of 4 stars, and as far as Oscar buzz goes, I highly recommend that Jake Gyllenhaal will get a nomination for Best Supporting Actor and as well as Best Original Screenplay. I highly recommend it. Go see it. Now, I hope you guys have a great time at the movies, and until then, this is Jack Vandertal with the Golden Reel Review.
Well, that is all the news from this desk. Coming up is Jack with the Xavier Sports Report. Have a good weekend, Muskies.
Hello Muskies, and welcome back to another edition of the Xavier Sports Report. I'm Jack Vandertal. Xavier Director of Athletics Greg Christopher has named Brian Neal head coach of the Xavier University's women's basketball team, making him the 7th head coach in program history. Neal has been operating as the interim head coach since October 9th, when former head coach Amy Waugh stepped down after a 2-year tenure with the Musketeers. The Xavier men's basketball team opens up the 2013-14 season tonight against Gardner-Webb at 7 p.m. here at the Cintas Center. Be sure to be there. Now, the Xavier men's soccer team is riding a 6-game winning streak and will be on the road this weekend to Indianapolis to take on the Butler Bulldogs tonight. The match is slated to start at 7 p.m. at the Butler Bowl. The women's volleyball team takes its 16-9 record on the road for a pair of Big East Conference matches at Georgetown and Villanova this weekend. The Musketeers will take on the Hoyas at 4 o'clock today in Washington, D.C., before heading to Philadelphia for a 3 p.m. showdown on Sunday against the Wildcats. Now, XU is tied with Creighton for second in the league at 7-3, while Marquette sits atop the standings at 9-1, and Butler ranks 4th at 6-4. But I'm sure it's only a matter of time before our Lady Muskies can break away and come out on top. Well, that wraps up yet another edition of the Xavier Sports Report. On behalf of everybody here in the studio, I hope you all have a great weekend. Take care, Muskies.